Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everyone. Oh my, yes, I'm starting with a picture of Johnnie. We all know that he was there at the parade. Just give me a second okay, just one more second. All right. If he's not married, somebody better snatch him up quick. All right, we have a lot to cover today. Let's just jump in and go, shall we? Let's go. Okay, really quickly, thank you to Darling Duchess who posted these pictures on Twitter. Yeah, let me stare for just a second. Yeah, Darling Duchess, you have great taste. All right, moving on. Starting off this morning by talking about Prince William. He gave a inspiring message on Diana's 61st birthday. He's hoping to honor young people, which I think is wonderful. He paid tribute to the latest recipients of the Diana Award. And for those who don't know, it's an award that honors people aged 9 to 25 for their social action and humanitarian work. And William called them an inspiration, which I completely agree. What I like is that he didn't turn this into a him story. He didn't turn it to himself. He's talking about, I admire your efforts, your personification. You are the true personification of my mother's legacy. I know she'd be proud of you. There's no better way to celebrate her life. It had nothing to do with him per se. He wrote a letter on Diana's birthday raising other people up. I bet you won't get that from the other brother. Yeah. All right, moving on. All right, the stories are coming out about Harry and Meghan's daughter's name and what really happened. We all knew something shady had gone on because Harry and Meghan got such backlash for giving their daughter the Queen's nickname, which she wanted to let die with her because that was the nickname that her husband, who'd recently passed, Philip, had used. So everybody was like, what's going on? So the article came out and said, Harry didn't ask the Queen. Harry shot back with a legal suit saying, yes, I did, and she gave us her blessing. Well, the truth always lies somewhere in the middle, and now the truth has come out. It's being alleged that Harry did call the Queen and say, we want to name our baby after you, but he never said the name. So, of course, the Queen assumed that they were going to use the name Elizabeth, and then they didn't. There you go. It's just the same thing he did with the Me You Can't See. He said, do you care if I do this thing with Oprah for the Me You Can't See? It's going to be for the veterans. It's going to be about PTSD. And the Queen gave her blessing to it, only to find out it was about Harry's PTSD. And he was slamming the royal family. Same exact thing. So if this goes to court, all they have to ask Harry is, did you use the name Lilibet when you said we want to name our daughter after you? Did you say Lilibet? And if he's an honest person, which we all know he's not, he'll say, no, I didn't say the name Lilibet. That lawsuit ain't going nowhere. All right, moving on. All right, one of the next stories that's come out recently is saying that Harry and Meghan should step away from the royal titles, which I completely agree with. So the suggestion made was that the pair might just use Sussex after their name. So she'd be Meghan Sussex, Harry Sussex. If you look at other members of the family, Beatrice and Eugenie do not use their titles in their jobs, which is right. She's Beatrice York, Eugenie York. Uncle Charles, Earl Spencer. He doesn't use Earl of Spencer. You know what I mean? The Earl of Harwood. It would be an easier thing for them. But we all know, no matter how much Meghan says she doesn't want to be ranked, she'd rather be linked and not ranked. She loves that title and she's going to use it. No, they're not going to step away voluntarily. And just FYI, Express did another one of their polls, and in response to almost 9,000 people, 96% said the title should be pulled. All right, moving on. All right, the next story coming out is that basically Harry's had enough with the cameras and he's going to be dialing back on his PR engagements and TV commitments because he's fed up. Supposedly, he says it's become too much for him and he wants out. This is not what he signed up for. Harry's wife, Meghan, however, her sentiments are supposed to be the opposite. She's telling friends that they're just getting started. Yeah, Harry, you jumped the royal family, and I'm sure he is fed up, especially after they went back to the Platinum Jubilee, and he saw what his old life was. Now, keep in mind, that he once said before that being in the royal family was like the Truman Show. But now I think he's getting a taste of what being in the Truman Show is really like. Yeah. And this is creating a big problem. And the problem is that Meghan wants more fame. She wants to keep going, and Harry wants to step back. I mean, remember, Harry comes from a famously private family, and she, on the other hand, has always craved fame. So this is the problem. They need the money. They want the money, but he's getting to a point now where he doesn't want to do anything else. And the reception that they got in the UK isn't helping matters any. It's being reported that Meghan now wants to let cameras in while she's getting ready for top world events, catch a glimpse of her dress fittings, get her on tape discussing things with designers. She loves the idea and is very frustrated because Harry doesn't have enthusiasm for it. But she's saying, listen, we can't pass up these golden opportunities. Don't you want to be the most famous couple in the world? She wants to be the most famous couple in the world. He doesn't. Okay, so Oprah is apparently giving them ideas, and this is something that Oprah has thrown out there. Apparently, it's being reported allegedly as an idea. But, people, a lot of Meghan's fans are saying that's trashy. Even Meghan's fans are saying that's not a good idea. That's trashy. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. All right, this next story came out. I was just shaking my head. We are being informed that Harry and Meghan are now financially independent from the royal family. So let me get this straight. A man who's worth $36 million in his own right, his wife that's worth $5 million in her own right, who got millions from their family when they left. That's another $3 million to the pie. So let's make that $43 million, not including the money that they were getting before everything went south, is now claiming they're financially independent. Because he and she paid for their own flights to England for the over Easter for the Jubilee. I'm sorry. I've been paying for my own airplane flights since I was 18 years old. I've been paying my own mortgage. I paid my own rent when I was single, and I've been paying my own mortgage since my husband and I got married. Am I supposed to be impressed by this? He's 37 or whatever. She's 40. They're just now getting financially independent. I mean, come on, people. I have to say I completely agree with, according to Taz's comment, 38 and 40-year-olds pay for their own flights. How groundbreaking. Spot on. And Baroness Buck put up a poll asking who paid for the flights. The winner, obviously, on here was Netflix, and I tend to agree. I think Netflix paid for those flights to the UK. I think it's the same thing like with the name, can we name after you grandma? And there's a little twisty. They're saying, well, we paid for the flights. Yeah, you probably paid for the flights with money you received from Netflix. Therefore, ergo, Netflix is the one who actually paid for the flights. All right, let's move on. All right, here we go. The bullying stuff again. Now, I did a video on the bullying allegations. Actually, I've done several videos on the bullying allegations. So what I just did was I went back and took a snippet. It's a 2-minute long snippet just to catch you up. And then we're going to go back to the stories that are in the paper today. So just watch this. I got a lot of emails about the whole bullying thing from Meghan Markle, so I'm just going to go back and touch on that really quick. Meghan did demand to see the names of the people who are making claims against her as soon as the probe was announced. It's been reported and it's known that Kate had to take Meghan aside after Meghan was rude to some of Kate's staff and said, that's my staff and you don't talk to them that way. And for people asking what the Queen confronted Meghan about, apparently they were having some sort of a tasting for her wedding menu. Meghan had requested that whatever was being made be made without any eggs in it. And she's tasting this and she's scolding the staff saying, there's egg in this. You're telling me there's not, but there's egg in this. I can taste it. And the Queen took her aside and said, we don't talk to staff that way. This is not the 1800s or the 1600s. You just don't get to do that. Then there was a report that Meghan totally went mental when she ordered some embroidered blankets and they came back the wrong tint of red. They were personal gifts for guests at the shooting party at Queen Elizabeth's Sandringham estate right after her engagement. But they weren't the right color, and she apparently started screaming at one of her assistants. It's been reported that Meghan's staff was being yelled at for very minor infractions and that Meghan had very hyper-specific demands, and if they meet them, she was screaming at them. So exactly how much staff did she go through? A lot. Although this picture shows 7 people, there were actually 9 people who quit since she became the Duchess of Sussex before they left the UK. That's a lot of people. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So if Harry and Meghan really want to clear their names, they would demand that bullying report be released. There's a reason why they're not releasing it. 2 top reasons are, number 1, if they release that report and the names of the people who gave evidence against Harry and Meghan come to light, first of all, they could be sued, I guess, if there's an NDA in place. Who knows? I don't know the legalities of that. Number 2, the Sussex squad would attack them. So then my thought process is, why don't you redact the names of the people? But other problem is, number 2, the Queen paid for it out of pocket. She never said that she was going to release it. Number 3, it's being reported that the Queen doesn't want to put any more pressure on Harry and Meghan. Now, with that being said, I also feel like something has been put in a drawer to be pulled out later. You know what I'm saying? If Harry and Meghan say or do anything else, I can totally see the palace pulling this stuff out from a drawer going, excuse me, now you've lied again or you've done this again. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little insurance policy that's being held over their heads. Now, I agree with what Anne, that you see above, wrote on Twitter. You have different staff from different countries who don't know each other, and they're all making the same allegations. Again, where there's smoke, there's fire. We've all heard about the vulgar language. She's constantly dropping the F-bomb. She did that the day of her wedding in the carriage. You know, she started as she meant to go on. That states a lot. We all know how it went. This article put it out perfectly. She was shooting out emails at 5 a.m., issuing instructions for staff, but the staff was getting weary of these dawn emails and texts. And then palace officials came to her defense. You know, Meghan's working day means connecting with contacts in the U.S. She had to be at her desk because of the time difference. That's why the early messages were going out. They talked about cultural differences in management style, saying Americans were more direct. The palace came to her defense. And in the meantime, Meghan's so-called friends were gushing about, how Meghan always prided herself on being a good boss, etc., etc. Things got so bad so quickly that Jason Knopp, who was in charge of the couple's public image, was so alarmed that he shot out that email that we've all seen, that Meghan was able to bully 2 PAs out of the household, and she always seems to have somebody in her sights. We all heard that Harry apparently then went and begged them not to look into it. Now, this is where it goes bad, because what's being alleged at this point was that the institution was constantly protecting Meghan, and as a result, they didn't answer or protect the people that were working for the institution. So, of course, we all know that they put out a statement, and they said that, they're going to look into these bullying allegations. They've had policies in place for a number of years. They will not tolerate the staff being bullied, and they're going to do the investigation. In the meantime, Meghan's lawyer, Johnnie, came out with, this is what kills me. She wasn't there. She did not speak to any of the people who were allegedly bullied. She only knows what she was told by Meghan. That's all she knows. And she went on an international program and said a bunch of word salad. Listen to this.
Overall allegation was that the Duchess of Sussex is guilty of bullying.
And is she?
No, absolutely not. And I think first thing is to be really clear about what bullying is. What bullying actually means is improperly using power repeatedly and deliberately to hurt someone, physically or emotionally. The Duchess of Sussex has absolutely denies ever doing that. That said, she wouldn't want to negate anyone's personal experiences.
Now, with all of that said, we know that changes were made to the HR policies. They're not telling us what was changed, what happened. And of course, you can imagine that while that's going on, Harry and Meghan are going, well, that's because they didn't find anything. No, there wouldn't have been changes made to the HR policy if something hadn't been found. Something was found. So with that said, Harry and Meghan are now going around going, we're so happy, my name has been cleared, and now we're going to move on. No, your name wasn't cleared. If you want your name to be cleared, you're going to have to get the bullying report released. I think they should release it. I think they should redact the names of the people who came forward and gave testimony to what's going on. And as usual, we know that when all of this was going on, Meghan turned around and claimed that she was the target of bullying. We all know how she likes to turn things to herself. I mean, come on, people. She's lost like 18 employees now in 2 years. That's something ain't right. So when I see headlines like this, Meghan and Harry are happily moving on. Yeah, I bet they are happily moving on because what she did to the staff has been buried by the palace. If she really wanted that information, if she really wanted that report to be released, she and Harry would have the report released. I guarantee it. And finally, for our last subject of today, how many times have I told you that Meghan Markle can't run for U.S. president? Or she could, but it would be, I don't think she understands what it is. So this article came out saying that Meghan is suffering serious delusions if she ever believes that she'll be president of the United States. That it's abject stupidity to think that that would ever happen. We heard about it from a friend of hers in Vanity Fair in 2020. And then last year, again, reports that she was networking with senior Democrats. Actually, she wasn't networking. She got a bunch of people's phone numbers that she shouldn't have had, and she bothered them at home. And they were most unhappy, by the way, some of them vocal about the fact that she called them. Then she sat down with Gloria Steinem for an interview with Vogue. You know, I mean, on and on it goes. Most people did not know who she was until she married Prince Harry, me included. Now, the person who wrote this article, just FYI, said that they supported Meghan with her allegations of racism because they were so disturbing, although they didn't understand why they had to air it all out. However, then Prince Harry started trashing his new adoptive country as Meghan cheered him on. He said the United States First Amendment was bonkers, that he's becoming increasingly woke and judgmental about conservative values, anything that wasn't strayed out of the Obama ideological playbook, as the article says. Anyway, so this is what the article says. First of all, it's a privilege to run for the president of the United States. And the country is in desperate times. And I'm quoting right from the article, we need more than an ex-C-list actress turned royal with no civic or political experience to speak of. Marrying a prince doesn't make you a leader. It makes you a celebrity. And he also put out that he thought the Democrats were sick and tired of celebrity presidents. You know, you have to put yourself into the shoes of good and decent American voters. The same people that they try to constantly disparage. Yeah, they're completely out of touch. They're hypocritical as they lecture us about the environment while they're flying around on gas-guzzling private jets. And what it comes down to, the article says, is they don't have what it takes, and I agree. You don't hire somebody to enforce the law of the United States when she herself has been caught flouting the law. She thinks she's above the law and she's perjured herself in court. To run for the United States presidency, you're going to be on the move constantly with buses and planes. She can forget about that private jet crap because then she'll just be seen as an elitist. She has to go to roadside cafes. She has to go to firehouses and town hall meetings and pancake breakfasts. She hadn't got it in her to do all that. Then everybody goes to the Iowa State Fair and eats deep fried Oreos or a pork chop. That was Kamala Harris eating one. Here's Trump eating one. Could you imagine Meghan Markle walking through the Ohio State Fair, scarfing down on a fat, greasy pork, whatever? I can't see it. You know, I just don't see it. You literally have to stand in front of the voters and try to tell them that you're the best choice out of everybody running and answer difficult questions. Your word salad stuff doesn't work. So how do you think people also in the United States are going to feel about having a British royal as the first gentleman of the United States. You know, people are going to tell you to your face how much they dislike you, they hate you, they have no reason to trust you. You know, yeah. You're going to have to go to Sioux Falls, Sioux City, New Hampshire, Greenville, South Carolina is on that list, tiny towns in the South. You're going to have to go to Nevada, that has been so savaged by broken promises of past politicians. People are not going to like you. You got to check your ego. She can't do that. Obviously, we've seen that before. Your children are going to have to go into the spotlight. Does that sound like something Meghan Markle is going to do? The answer is no. So she's probably should just stick to what she's doing, which is giving people word salad and threatening things. But if you guys are worried about her running for president, forget it, because it's never going to happen. All right. Now we have a few housekeeping items we're going to cover. First of all, I want to thank you guys very, very much for trying to correct the way I'm saying some of the words. Unfortunately, I've been saying Wimbledon since I was 5 years old. I'm now 57. I can't change it. I'm so sorry that it might offend anybody. I really am doing the best I can do as far as pronunciation of terms and words. No, I am not offended that you guys try. So, yeah, I'm not offended. I just want you to know that I'm trying very hard to pronounce things correctly. Next up, I got all kinds of stuff from you guys. I've been doxxed by Bouzy. Okay, let me explain something to you. He doxed me way earlier. He already put out my name. He already put out my state that I live in. He already put out my, what I do for a living, what my husband did for a living. He's already put out there. He told everybody my son has autism, and I'm going to sue her. Now, I want you guys to take 2 steps back. What is he going to sue me for? Because I put up the tweets that he said about the royal family, which are on his open, unlocked Twitter account, which everybody in the world has. I mean, what's he going to sue me for? That I pointed out that his own daughter, who has no disabilities of any kind and who is in her mid-20s, has been putting up tweets all across the internet on multiple platforms talking about how she was abused by him? Come on, guys. Relax. What's he going to say? How dare she tell people my business? If it's available on the public domain, it's available. The only thing he can do, guys, is dox me and try to get the Sussex Squad to attack. And if something happens, he's going to say, I never told them to attack. I never told them to do anything. No. I was just saying, blah, 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 blah. Because that's what he does. He puts out the information because he wants the Sussex Squad to be the ones to do his dirty work. I don't think most of them are that stupid. When I get down to it, he's got nothing on me. I've never been divorced. I've never been arrested. I've never filed bankruptcy. I've never defaulted on loans or credit cards. Nothing. All I've done is work in the emergency room for 27 years. I've been married for a long time. And raise my children. So the only thing that he can do is release my personal information and hope that somebody goes and gets me. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. Bouzy said he was going to have my YouTube channel shut down, and he put up tweets and said he was sending stuff to YouTube. Who knows if he really did? But not long after that, my channel went down by some very strange, odd means, and he gloated all over the internet about it being taken down, and then was very upset when I got it back, because that's what happens when it goes down when it shouldn't. And then he started sending emails, as you can see above, to YouTube to try to get my videos taken down by copyright claim, and he was denied. So let me say thank you to everybody who has DM'd me. My goodness, my box was overflowing with people going, I have proof he harassed this person. I have proof he harassed that person. I think it's fabulous, and if this were to go to court, I would want them all, just to show his pattern of harassment. Very easy to do. Gaslighting doesn't work for me, people. So just relax. Everybody take a chill pill. I'm feeling the love. I am feeling the support. And as I said before, if this were to go to court, I would meet it head on. Love it. Imagine what a judge is going to say about this tweet, which is an obvious lie and which is put out to disparage. Could you imagine? That's the kind of stuff that's illegal. Now, you guys should know that this was sent to the file that is with the North Bergen County Police Department. I'm not the only person who's filed multiple police reports against Mr. Bouzy. You never know which report is going to be the one that tips the scale over, to where he'll be arrested for cyber stalking and cyberbullying, because as I've told you before, New Jersey has the toughest laws. So if I'm able to prove that he literally is following me around and putting up my information and that it could put me in danger, clink, clink. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I am finishing up with Johnnie. Just stand for a minute and just look at Johnnie. Okay. All right. I want your comments. There's lots of information in this video. Lots of information. You probably have to watch it again to get it all. But I want your comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be notified of future uploads. If you've already hit it, just double check. Make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, Rumble. You can Getter. You can email me. To those who have donated to my thanks fund and through my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.